Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Apologise from the get-go for the poor sound quality. I watched my Discovery review video back and with the GoPro mounted to the windscreen, the sound quality is pretty shocking. Unfortunately, I don't have any other way of holding the camera in the car at the moment. If anyone's got any suggestions as to better ways of doing it to get less road noise and wind noise, I'm all open for suggestions. I think probably the answer is going to be buying a separate mic or just getting a decent camera, but it's quite a lot of money, so I'd rather stick with the GoPro at the moment. Just thought I'd do a bit of a sort of late introduction slash sort of plans for the channel sort of thing. When I set up the channel, I just basically jumped straight into uploading the mini videos, and then now done a couple of review videos. Never really sort of explained what my plan is, sort of the projects I've got on the go and such like. So just thought I'd do a quick sort of overview. I'll try and keep it as short and sweet as possible, but I do tend to waffle, so I'll try and cut as much waffle out as possible. I don't know when this video will get uploaded because yeah, I don't know, it just depends when I get time as to where in the chain of other videos it gets uploaded. Timescale wise, we are 3rd of April now. Keen-eyed viewers may notice the beard is gone. I did get my vaccine. All I can say is everyone needs to get themselves on the end of day list, your local vaccine hub. Got a nice phone call last weekend, and yeah, managed to get on an end of day one, so used up a vaccine that would have otherwise gone in the bin, and someone didn't turn up for their vaccine, which was a pretty poor show to be honest, but it has meant that I have now been vaccinated, so hopefully it's going to be the sort of start to show signs of getting back to normal. We're out of full lockdown now, still a lot of restrictions, can't really do a lot, but at least we can see some family and friends socially distance in gardens and go for walks, which would be quite nice. Anyway, enough of that. More onto the channel, a bit about myself and some of the projects and that I've got hopefully coming up. To me myself, I am my day job is an engine builder. I think I might mention that in one or two of the mini videos. I build engines for classic racing cars, anything from sort of 1900s to sort of 60s, 70s really. I work for a big motorsport company, a huge range of stuff. I really enjoy it. It's as much a hobby as it is a job, so very lucky in that sense. I've always had a passion for cars since I was young. It's all I've ever talked about. I bought my first Mini when I was 16. It was going to be my first car. Things didn't quite plan out as I'd hoped. Failed its MOT the day after I passed my test, so I ended up having to buy a dirt cheap Saxo. Ran that around for a year. I've always liked older cars, classics, that sort of stuff. My dad and uncles and stuff all had old cars. My granddad set up my Dover Transport Museum in their front living room many years ago, and been quite involved with that over the years. So I've always been around cars, namely older cars. That's my passion. A couple of things I am interested in other than that. I quite like mountain biking, more downhill jumps, that sort of stuff. Not very good at it at all, but I quite enjoy it. I've got a sort of mid-range, fairly cheapy downhill bike, which I can have a bit of fun on every now and then when we're allowed. So I don't do it seriously at all, and I'm not very good at it. I don't do massive jumps or anything, but I like going out into the woods and doing trials and stuff like that. So there may be the odd video of that on here, but to be honest, not very easy to film that sort of stuff. So I don't know, we'll see. Also, quite like rollerblading. Before the whole coronavirus thing, I would go with a couple of mates once a week, just rollerblading, fairly local skating rink. Again, nothing serious, not very good at it, but just something fun to do with friends. Yeah, so that's sort of a bit about me. Projects wise, I've got a few on the go at the moment. The big one, obviously, you know about is the Blue Mini, 1988 Mini. That's in the garage over winter, just because of lockdown and stuff. My plan was to keep it on the road all year. I'm not precious about it. It's covered in salt, you know. I'm not precious about it at all. I will drive it in the rain. I will leave it out. It's a car to be driven and enjoyed, not put in a garage and kept away and looked at and never driven. So, but because of lockdown and stuff and doing the kitchen, just not having time to drive it, it was just sat outside. So, wanted to get it in the garage to do a couple of bits, make it a bit more watertight. A couple of leaks have developed, and just start ticking some of the things off the list. It was never finished, and you know, it's one of these projects that never will be finished. There'll always be stuff to do. I'll always be changing my mind on stuff, so that's always going to be an ongoing project. I'll try and document that as best I can without it being too boring. I know a lot of the videos of the build series of it were a bit long. Not a lot of people watched too much into those. I mean, I've got good views and stuff, so people obviously like it, very good comments and stuff, so very happy with that. But what it did point out is the videos tend to be a bit long, so people sort of lose interest, which I can understand. You know, it's a bit boring watching me grind stuff and that. So I think videos going forward of stuff like that, of builds, any work being done, I'll try and keep as short as I can. Whether it be using time lapses or just cutting out some of the boring stuff, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. So that's my sort of main project at the moment. I've still got my original Mini I had when I was 16, so I've had that 14 years now, coming up 15 years. That is in about the same condition as the blue one when I started that. So that needs a lot of work, but that is pretty low on the priority list. I've already got the Mini that I drive, you know, I don't need another one at the moment. That's more, I'm sort of holding on to that more for sentimental value really. At some point I think it would be a nice project for me and my son to sort of tackle together in, I don't know, say 5-6 years time maybe. So that's more of a long termer, so you probably won't see anything on that for a very long time. Got a Ford Transit X minibus, 2004, which we bought. Someone had already started a camper van conversion on it, we've slowly been doing more to it, turning it into a camper. It's again another one of these ongoing projects. We didn't want to jump in and just go, you know, full on, spend loads of time and money on it and just absolutely nail it first time. We sort of wanted to do what we could to get it usable, start using it, and everything, and just see how it develops, because there's things that you sort of think you need but actually you don't, and there's other things you don't even think of that you do need. You just can't tell these things until you start using it. So we've opted to, we've had that probably getting on for 2 years now, but unfortunately because of lockdown, almost spent the last year sat there not really doing anything. It needs a bit of love really. We're hoping to use it. We're booked to go away in it next month, only local unfortunately, but last year, it was last year or the year before, we went a couple of trips to Wales, Peak District. It's great just going out as a family. It's really, really nice to jump in it. Even going out for the day, you know, went to the beach in it a couple of times. It's just a nice base camp. It's not particularly glamorous at all. Don't be expecting one of these super duper sprinter conversion things. It's nothing like that. It's all just sort of cobbled together out of bits that we had laying around. At the end of the day, it's not supposed to be an expensive project. We haven't got a £10,000 budget to do it. It's done. We pay about £2,000 for the bus in the first place, and we've probably spent, including solar and all the electrics and stuff, probably spent less than 500 quid so far, and we've had a fair bit of use out of it, and we're hoping to get a bit more. And again, it's just another one of these, like I said, long term. We'll just do bits as and when we get time, as and when we see that we need to do it. But it's very usable at the moment, and we quite enjoy going out in it. So there'll be a bit of work coming up on that. It's got a bit of rust, as all old Transits do, so I've got to try and tackle that. It's got a leaky fuel tank, and a couple of other little bits, and then tidying up some little bits inside as well. So probably do a sort of maybe a general overview video of that at some point. And then the big exciting project for me, definitely, which I'm looking forward to getting back on with, although unfortunately I don't know when that's going to be, but I'm hoping to be fairly soon, is me and my brother a couple of years ago bought a Volvo 940 Estate to turn into a drift car. We, you know, standard, it had chop springs on it, and you know, it was a bit naff, 2 litre red block turbo, but absolutely no power at all, couldn't even spin the rear wheels. Just overall, the car itself is naff, but it's a good base, good solid car to build on. So did a bit of work on that a couple of years ago. Probably, it's got to be 4 years ago now. Did a fair bit of work on it. I've done other bits since, did a little bit in lockdown last year, but I converted all the front end, all the suspension, everything like that, to Nissan S14 front suspension, complete lock, coilovers, all adjustable lower arms, everything on it on the front end is adjustable. All brand new hubs, everything like that. It's got Skyline R33 4-pot brakes on it, and then just some fairly generic wheels. So I've got to finish all that, finish tidying up all the front suspension. Going to possibly be there'll be some steering mods. I'm going to possibly swap out the rack for a Nissan rack as well. And the big exciting bit for me personally is going to be the engine. So I acquired from previous cars and buying donor cars and such like, 2 3-litre Ford V6s, Duratec 30s, to build into a twin turbo V6 monster. That's the plan with that one. Haven't quite worked out so I've worked out what gearbox I'm having. Gonna get an adapter made. There's a company called PMC Motorsport in Poland. They do a lot of adapters to BMW gearboxes, so you're going to get a BMW 530D gearbox, because that should take the torque. So get an adapter and everything made for that. Then that could go on. Rear end, I'm still yet to figure out. The Volvo's just got a standard beam axle. That's obviously all going to have to go in the bin. So possibly looking at fitting Nissan 350Z rear end, maybe. I want to try and keep it Jap rear end for keeping the wheel stud PCD the same as the front, because it's obviously got Nissan front hubs. So I don't really want to be running different sets of wheels front and back and things like that. So that's sort of the vague plan with that. I've got the engine stripped. The engine is in, the old engine's out of the Volvo. That's long gone. Sold that, made nice money out of it. So we've got to the dummy assembled the engine, just all the crankcase, covers, everything like that. No crank or anything like that in it. Just to mock it up in the engine bay, see if it's going to fit, see how much room there is, and I can gladly report there is plenty of room for 2 big turbos, which is nice. So that's going to be the project at some point, building that engine up. Still working out some of the configuration stuff. Got a couple of contacts and Torque Development International and a couple of other places that build V6s for Morgans and Nobles and stuff like that, Jetstream. Sort of been in contact with them. So starting to build up a bit of a parts list, as it were. But unfortunately, as with everything like that, a lot of the bits are pretty expensive, so it's going to be a fairly big budget build. So it's going to be a bit of a long-term one, but I think it's worth persevering with. It's a pretty cool idea, I think. The engines themselves are very good. I like them a lot, but in NA form they're a bit underpowered. In twin turbo form you can get over 500 horsepower without too much work. So that's my goal with that, 500 horsepower, manual, try and sort of drift car, bit of fun. For me, ultimately, it's the engine that I'm interested in. So if we find a more suitable car for the engine to go in, I wouldn't be obliged, I wouldn't be upset to necessarily get rid of the Volvo and get something else instead. As long as we end up with something that is pretty cool, a little bit different, that I can wedge a twin turbo V6 in. So looking forward to that, but as I say, that's a bit of a long term one, mainly because of the cost. It's the engine, the components for the engine alone are going to be best part of £5,000. Then you've got gearbox or adapter plates, everything else, all the rear end, it all adds up. Overall it's going to be a fairly big budget build, and it's just trying to find time to allocate both the time and the money to it. But it's something I am very passionate about, so hopefully we should see some work on that on the channel at some point. And then other than that, I've got the house as my big project really. You know, there's always stuff, lots of work needs doing on the house, so that's the main priority. Other than family, you know, got 2 kids, one's 3 years old and one's 3 months old. So everything I do has to fit around family life. So videos and content and work on cars can be a bit scarce at times, so I just have to do what I can and upload when I can. Also quite like to start looking to maybe doing a couple of salvage cars. I live very, very, very close to Copart, and I have this, and I have a car trailer, and I have the space. So it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. It's something I'm quite keen to try and do sooner rather than later, I think. It's only going to get harder as time goes on, as more and more people do it. It's already nowhere near as profitable as it used to be. There's hundreds and hundreds of people on YouTube alone who do it. You know, it's not something new. I'm not trying to do something new, but it's something I want to try. And yeah, so there might be a bit of content on that if I manage to pick up a good deal, good insurance write-off, fix it all up, make it nice, sell it on, or keep it. Who knows? Depends what it is. If I find something good, then I will fix it and keep it. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. Nothing's going to happen in the next month or so, but you know, it'd be nice to have something potentially by the end of the year. It's quite a way away. It should give me a bit of time, but we'll see. We'll just have to see how it goes. Other than that, I think that's probably everything for this update. It's ended up a bit long than I was planning. And as I said at the beginning, I do apologise for the loud road noise. It was actually wind noise on the windscreen, and the light bar on the truck as well. That needs to go. So yeah, if you've stuck this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. If you're not already subscribed, then go and hit that subscribe button. As always, if anyone's got any comments of anything, anything you want to see me do, anything you want to, any suggestions you've got, camera mount would be ideal, anything like that, just hit me up in the comments. I always try and reply to the comments. And yeah, I will catch you on the next one. Thank you very much.